courteous service is still in place. As an independent insurance agency, the Firestone Insurance Agency works for you. They do the shopping for you to save you time and a bunch of needless phone calls. Because let's face it, no one loves to shop for insurance. Call the office at 724-455-3900 or visit firestoneinsurance.net. Can't make it to Normalville? Let the Firestone Insurance Agency bring service right to your kitchen table. The Firestone Insurance Agency, 724-455-3900 or firestoneinsurance.net. Doing what is right for the customer, finding the most affordable rates while making sure there are no coverage gaps so you are fully protected from the unforeseen.
Mountaintop Title and Notary can handle all of your motor vehicle and PennDOT needs, such as titles, plates, renewal, registrations, and all notary needs. Tina Nicholson of Mountaintop Title and Notary can also handle ATV and boat titles and also does income taxes. Hours are Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 4:30, and appointments can be made for after hours and Saturdays. Mountaintop Title and Notary with a new location at 655 Nelson Road in Farmington, the only place you need to go for all title, notary, and tax work. Call Tina at 724-984-1514 for the most professional services around.
For 35 years, Fay Penn Economic Development Council has been committed to its mission of growing Fayette County's economy and helping to bring jobs to the area. Whether you're a startup, existing, or new business in Fayette County, Fay Penn's lending team can work with you to decide if the Fay Penn Loan Fund suits your business's needs. Fay Penn's Loan Fund offers loans starting at $10,000, pending qualifications. Visit faypenn.org to learn more about financing opportunities for your business and to complete a pre-application form.
When you make the right decision, it feels good, like picking the perfect gift. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision, too. That's why State Farm Agent Nate Ferguson is here in Uniontown to help you select the right protection at the right price. Nate will make sure you understand your coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. With State Farm Agent Nate Ferguson, it's easy to make the right choice. Just call Nate when you want the real deal.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of John Marietta and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Fayette County Recorder of Deeds Office or Fayette County government. This program is privately produced and funded, and no county resources are used for its production or promotion.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I was trucking up the highway, minding my own lane, with some dude in a Prius went and flipped me off. Guess my redneck hit him wrong. Seems like everyone these days is a ticking time bomb full of hate for folks like me who don't agree and ain't ever gonna change. And it gets me thinking, leave it.
Hey everybody, this is John Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly, and it's another Trumptastic day here in Fayette County. Today's show is being brought to you by Burns Krause Funeral Home, Thundering Hills Feed and Supply, Fayette Recovery Storage and U-Haul, HC Containers, Laser Brothers, Highline Motorsports, Humbert Sanitation and Septic Pumping, Fayette Structures, Country Motor Sales, Premier Auto Glass, Fayette County Mega Patriots Group, HBJ Radio, Mazda's Garage and Tire Center, Solid Foundation Ministries, The Ink Spot in South Connellsville, JB Market in Dunbar, Mung's Auto Body, and Fayette Structures. Let's get to it. We got a lot of things happening here today, so we'll get right to my opening. I'll tell you what, there's a mighty difference between being accountable for what you say and what you do, and just running your mouth to cast down somebody else, and just running your mouth to cast down someone else. The Bible says in Matthew 17, 36 and 37, But I say unto you, that every idle word that man shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. For by the words thou shalt be justified, and by the words thou shalt be condemned. This, in other words, what the Bible's trying to say here is, talk's cheap if it ain't backed up by truth and action. And right here in our own town, we're seeing what happens when talk turns into just talking. When the folks at the commissioner's table, shop till you drop, Scott Dunn, and a name you know and trust to raise your taxes, Vince Vacides. Plays favorites with power. It ain't just politics. It's poor stewardship. It's what Proverbs 29:12 warned us about. If a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. We've got good, hardworking men and women watching that paycheck get thinner while county offices grow fatter and slower. We've seen loyal workers pushed aside, truth twisted, and the people's money used like it's Play-Doh in the hands of prideful men. That, friends, is the fruit of forgotten, who you're supposed to serve. Yeah, they've forgotten who they're supposed to serve. But hear me now. This ain't about revenge. Oh no, this is about a reckoning. Because where deceit has festered, truth fixing to march in. Where the proud have stuttered, humility's coming to kneel. And by God's grace, if the people stand together in light and conscience, we will see that reckoning come. We ain't looking for revenge. Absolutely not. We're looking for accountability, for honesty, for truth in public office. And by God's grace, yes, and by God's grace, we're going to get it there. And on today's show, we've got a man who's been speaking out with courage and facts, exposing the misuse and misappropriation of county funds and the mistreatment of county workers right here in Fayette County. Yeah, his name is Robert Burns, and he's joining us today on the phone to help shine a little more light on the truth. The folks in charge would rather keep the truth that folks in charge would rather keep hid. Stay with us. You don't want to miss any of this. And I think he's on the line right away, and he told me he only has a little bit of time. So, are you with us there, Robert?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Hey, how's the weather where you're at, by the way?
It's a bit cloudy, a little bit chilly too.
Okay.
I haven't got much snow.
Okay. Well, anyways, let's get started. You're Robert Burns. I know that you write several articles for the Independent Pen, and I know a little bit about you. But let's put this in. Let's put this together before we dive into all the ifs and abouts about what we're going to talk about today. I want to address something up front. Fayette County Commissioner Scott Dunn has been openly critical of your reporting, publicly calling you your fake news. For listeners hearing that rhetoric, tell me who Robert Burns is and how do you respond to that accusation?
Well, of course, I'm Robert Burns. I was born in Allegheny County. Spent a few early years in Connellsville when I was younger. Then I moved to Brooklyn and later Queens. Lived under very different political cultures, giving me a lot of insight into the inner workings of things. And concerning that accusation of fake news, all I can say is that the way Scott Dunn has been cherry-picking information in my articles and not showing the whole picture, it just shows that he knows I'm telling the truth, but can't handle it. So that's why he calls it fake news.
I guess if maybe the question I need to do a follow-up question with that is do you want to explain that in a little bit more detail?
Well, we see this a lot from people in charge. Someone corners a person in charge with facts and logic, and they tend to just dismiss it as fake, something untrue which doesn't fit their narrative. So they try any way possible to frame it as untrue, no matter how strong the point is.
Well, I think we pretty much covered that, but when they do call it fake news, I guess, or so when they've called it fake news, where does that lead you to? How do you feel about that?
Well, it just tells me that the article landed. If something I wrote were false, it could be disproven in full and calmly with evidence. Instead, we just get labels and screenshots. You know, that's what happens when the preferred narrative can't survive contact with the record.
Okay. I know I don't want to rush you. We can take a little bit of time, but I didn't want to rush you. But I do want you to tell us a little bit about, I guess, your background. You said you, I guess, New York is where you worked, and what kind of work did you do up there before when you? I guess you've written for other papers too, but or other articles, or I don't know. Explain to us exactly what you've done. That might be the best way to do it.
Well, I worked mostly behind the scenes. I did research, public records, and I helped reporters understand municipal structures and pressure points. In New York City, I also helped a lot of reporters cover housing authority abuses and labor retaliation and the giant citywide corruption over there. Yeah, that's mostly what I did.
Well, you didn't have no lack of information at corruption in New York, I don't think. I always call it New York, because that's my, I guess I'm old-fashioned about that. I got to spend some time in part of a week up there, and I got to visit Trump Tower and some places like that, and Radio City Music Hall, and it's kind of neat. One of the first things I did, though, when I got off the train and came up out of the where the train stopped, I bought a newspaper. So, but anyways, we'll go on. That's just something I guess hillbillies do. I buy newspapers everywhere I go. But anyways, I guess a lot of your what you're reporting about is been about our county government, about our state government, and about the Republican Party leadership. I guess what leads you to do that?
Well, it's simple. There's just a common pattern here. It seems that the people in charge always seem to be immune from consequences, and the common people, the average taxpayer, has to keep receiving the consequences of these upper people's actions. And I just feel that's incredibly unjust, and it needs to be changed. That's why I'm trying to bring awareness to it.
Well,
all out with Tom.
Okay, so I guess the next thing is I want to ask you, what's your role in all this? I mean, what do you see your role as?
Well, I'd like to see myself as just and connect the dots for people. I don't like telling readers what to think. I instead like to show them how things unfold, who benefits and who paid the price. And more often than not, it's regularly the taxpayers of Fayette County and Pennsylvania in general.
Okay. Well, I guess the next thing we probably need to do is I got this wrote down. Let's see if you follow this. I haven't read all your articles. There's no doubt about it, and I haven't read them in depth. Larry Doherty's here with me, and I don't know. Have you read them all, Larry?
On and off.
Yeah, yes. I haven't read them all. But anyways, you've written I know a couple times extensively about our county workers, about how the benefits changed, about the layoffs and taxpayers, and I guess there's a pattern to that, because is it like the same pattern like from in other places in the country that you've been looking at?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. The people in the top stay protected, while they ruin the lives of the people below them through layoffs, tax increases, changing benefits. It's the people, the common people, these workers who do so much to provide for the government, for their fellow community members. More often than not, they're the ones targeted by all of these laws, by all of these policy changes. Meanwhile, the people in charge never have to answer for their actions.
One of the things that you did, I noticed, one of the things I noticed that you part of the article that you did about the county workers getting laid off, you really made I'll put it in hillbilly terms. You kind of push hard on about how they got rid of many people, or got rid of many of the people rated when they were near retirement. And is that something that's happened to you or your parents or something that I guess what did that strike a nerve or hit ground zero for you?
Well, it's just simply a break of trust. Yeah, one of my biggest priorities in life is being an honest person. I honor trust greatly. And this is an example of the people in charge and the people at the county level of government going and just breaking that trust with these people. you'd expect that if you dedicate your whole life to working in the service of the county, that you would be able to retire. But instead, these layoffs are preventing that. And it's not okay. So that's why it breaks my heart to see this.
One of the things I wrote down, it was about the economic development and how it was how you've probably zeroed in a little bit about that too, and how it affected people locally. Do you want to talk about that for just a minute or so?
Yeah, of course. There are people like Vince Rosides especially who use the context of economic development to instead mean favoritism for friends and family. And if you can't be honest to the people, and if you want to be outright just unfair to the common people, who are you as a person? Because certainly that doesn't mean that you're okay from a moral sense. And that's all what it's about. It's about doing the right thing for the most people. And this economic development, it only helps those who are in the pockets of the people in charge.
I do know that, and I'm going to get back to that in 1 second. But I got different questions here. I'm trying to figure out which ones I want to ask. But this is one that I really wanted to ask you how you felt about it, because you're all over the country. But you've been very critical of politicians who brand themselves as conservatives. You want to reiterate on that, or you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I've been very critical of them simply because it's all back to honesty again. Transparency between the voter base and the politicians who represent them. If you lie to your people, if you wear your conservatism as a mask for what it really is underneath, how are you going to represent these people? There's a big disconnect between them, between these fake conservatives and their voters. And it's all just simply because the people are finally starting to wake up. They've realized what these rhinos are doing. They've realized that all it's doing is hurting them, hurting their families, and hurting their values.
Well, I more or less don't group them as rhinos or dinos or whatever you want to for the Democrats. I kind of group them as the uniparty and how they've tried to take over and do things. And believe me, they coordinate things together. There's no doubt about it. I mean, there is a definite core. They definitely work together for the greater good for the uniparty, and not so much for. And it doesn't have to be about the party. It just has to be, like you said it perfectly. It has to be about doing the right thing if you do the right thing when nobody's looking, that's kind of like what we should be doing all along, all of our elected. And we have a couple people in the county that I think do that. So. But anyways, let's get back to something else. This is one of my. I wrote this one down. Often people will say that we need to compromise, and compromise is necessary. Or when I first took office, everybody told me that I asked them about doing things, and they different people in the courthouse. And by the way, I have a terrific staff, and they didn't tell me this. It was other officers in the courthouse told me. They said, just do the same thing as you did last year, and it'll be okay. That they did last year, and everything will be fine, and everything will just move along slowly. But I think that kind of made me mad, because if I didn't get elected to do the same thing as last year, I got elected to do different things, and I believe when you compromise about some of your values, that hurts not only you, but it also hurts the voters. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I agree completely. Compromise, especially when what's been happening is we've constantly been compromising in the same direction, giving more and more to them, to just the people in charge, the people who want to hurt the average person. And because we keep compromising to the swamp, to the establishment, eventually what's going to happen is we're going to give everything away. Eventually we're going to have nothing left. And that's personally why I don't believe in compromising with them. All it is just a path to lose our values that we hold so dear.
Well, one of the things I'm seeing, and it's just not the GOP, but it's both parties, I'm seeing a lot of inner fighting in both of the parties. It's just not the GOP. The GOP takes it to another level sometimes, I think, but the Democrats kind of keep it quiet. But I don't believe you should do that. I mean, if there's something going on, people should know about it. So why do you think that there is this significant inner fighting in the parties right now? Why do you think it's escalating? This will probably be your next article, by the way. This will. I think this would make a good article.
Well, if we look at this, if we look at the infighting, especially in the GOP, it's because you get these establishment conservatives, or not, well, I wouldn't really call them conservatives that much, who have been just relying on the loyalty of voters for so many years. And they've gotten so used to it that now, once there are people who want to change the party, who want to reform it into something that more closely resembles what the average taxpayer wants, it's causing a lot of stress, a lot of fighting among the GOP. And that's mostly what I'd have to say about that.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, I'm sure there's going to be an article about that. I would bet. I would bet that you're going to look down. I'm pushing you towards that. I'm pushing you towards it. So maybe you ought to think about it. So, anyways,
I'll reveal it to you before the article comes out.
So, anyways, if you've taken a lot of heat for all this reporting you've done and all the articles you put out, I guess. The question is, and I get this asked all the time, why do you keep going? Why? What's your? What do you think? You know, I mean,
well,
go ahead.
It's really just because silence, as I like to say, silence is more dangerous than criticism. I personally feel that if I am to just be silent and not inform people of all that is happening, what's going to happen is we're just going to be rolled over by the establishment taking away everything, by increased taxes, by layoffs, by lawsuits. We're going to be rolled over. I don't want that to happen. And that's why I keep going. Because it's all about fighting the fight for what's best for the average person.
Yeah, I think if you do the right thing, once again, I believe God doesn't always stop the storm, but He shows you a path through it, and that's one of the things I really believe about. Is there anything else you'd like to say, or anything? I know I've kept you a little bit longer than what we thought we were going to, but is there anything else you would like to say or talk about? I know, and I appreciate you coming on. I know that you're a busy fellow. You got a lot of things to do, and I know you do research for several different news organizations. So this writing is pretty cool. So, is there anything else?
Well, of course, I'd like to say thank you for letting me onto the show. I'd like to wish everyone listening a great day. I'd also like to say if anyone wishes to contact me, they can do so at Robert Burns at independentpen.com. It's been a pleasure talking to you, John.
Yeah, I did ask you. The weather up there where you're at is you're not getting snow right now, are you?
No, not right now. We're supposed to get some on Wednesday, though.
Okay. Well, we're supposed to get some tonight. And it's flurrying out there right now. But you know what? As soon as the radio show is over, I got to go back to the courthouse because we got. And a lot of people don't realize that, but I got to go back to the courthouse. We're setting up a new some new programs and things that's going to help coordinate things. And I'm going back to the courthouse for a couple more hours yet tonight. Hopefully, it's only a couple more hours. Hopefully, the internet works for us. So, but anyways, hey, thanks a bunch for calling in, and I really appreciate what you're doing. And keep up the good work.
No problem. It's been a pleasure meeting you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, it was. I contacted him through another party, and they got a hold of him, and he was willing to come on air. And like I said, I don't know exactly where he lives at. He's real funny about that. I guess. I guess you can understand that. You're getting a little lesson in how we need to be quiet about things too.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need to go into that right now, but
I mean, it seems that there's a lot of hate out there, but on the other hand, there's a lot of people that support me too. So, I mean, I'm, running for politics isn't for the weak, I guess.
Well, I know that you're trying to do something that this is out of you're stepping out. I mean, and a lot of people don't realize what it means to do that. You get attacked constantly about, and they can make the smallest thing, try to make the smallest thing into the biggest thing. Like, I don't know. You forgot to take I don't know
your trash out one day.
Yeah, or you drove. You were talking on your cell phone. If they catch you talking on your cell phone, driving down the road, and people make the biggest things about that. Like I said, I'm busy with a lot of things, and of course tomorrow I'm hoping, if the weather's right, we'll be out of bullskin for the breakfast out there. But anyways, the ladies out there do a nice job, and if you're anywhere near Bullskin Township at the senior center tomorrow, stop out and help patronize them. Them women do they do their very best, and I try to stop out. Don't get there every month, but try to go as many times as I can. But anyways, you're not always when you're elected, even as the position that you're running for, which doesn't pay anything, and it's going to cost you money to drive to Harrisburg when after you win and do some things like that. But we have to keep on moving forward, and if we don't take back what's ours, the problem is the Uniparty will just keep on doing what they're doing.
Well, I think the biggest thing on this is that I always reflect on that song from Aaron Tippett, "You got to stand for something or you fall for anything." And again, if the military wanted to issue me feelings, they would have done so at boot camp. And the biggest thing is that it's just like the military. It's a calling. You got to do what's right, no matter what the consequences, no matter what they throw at you. You have to continue to bulldoze through and fight and do exactly what's right for Fayette County, for our state, and for our country. Because if not, we're going to digress. We're not going to, degress. We're not going to, keep moving forward. So that's the problem. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And it's got to change.
Yeah, I mean, Einstein was very passionate about that, Dave, and that's what I said when I took office. I asked some people how we do this or how we do that, and they said just do it the same as last year, and everything will be fine. Well, you know what? The problem is you have to figure out different ways to do things. You have to figure out, and then I'll put it in hillbilly terms, more better ways to do things.
Yeah.
And I mean, let's face it. If we didn't think about it and change things and try to upgrade things, we'd be talking on telegraph still.
Exactly.
I mean, that's who would have thought, even when I was a kid, that you would be able to turn on, carry your phone around, and you'd be able to watch Nick talk about sports on WMBS. I mean, no, just think about it. I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, when I was at home, we got 4 channels. You got Channel 2, which was KDKA. You got Channel 4, which was WTAE, and you got Channel 11, which is now WPXI, I guess. And then you got you also got Channel 13, which is public broadcasting. On a good night, if the weather was right, you could get Steubenville on the TV, which was, I believe, Channel 9, and sometimes Channel 7 would come in. You get a channel out of Ohio, too. But that's just depending on how you but you think about all these things but if you keep doing the same as you always did, you're never going to get better. No. You're never going to get better. No. I mean, you don't feed. You raise hogs, and I haven't raised no hogs in a good many years, but I guarantee you feed them differently now than when I raised them. Because,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing. That's the same way with politics. I mean, unless you get fresh blood, fresh ideas in there, and people who's willing to stand for things, nothing's going to change.
Well, the one thing I chuckle about is Donald Trump decided we're gonna buy Greenland, okay, and we're gonna take over Greenland, and everybody, oh no, and all this different things, it's gonna be, can't afford it, and blah, all this. Well, when it was all said and done, now we don't own it, but we can do anything we want in Greenland right now. They've given us carte blanche up there pretty much, and that's what he wanted. He wanted to put bases up there. He wanted that Northern Passage is the biggest thing because it will help get people from the Atlantic to the Pacific, and over to it'll go over the top of Canada instead of having to go clear down to the Panama Canal and over. Of course, I've heard some rumblings that he's deciding he's going to take over we're going to take back the Panama Canal. That was one of the dumbest things in the world. We gave away the Panama Canal. Well, we went down there and built it, and men lost their actually men died down there from malaria and all kind of different things. And Jimmy Carter gave it away. Of course. We're going to take it back, and actually we had soldiers down there there was fighting down there. People forget about that. So, but anyways, I know that it's a Friday, and I don't try to get too balled up about things on Fridays. We try to have a fun show. So. What did you get all the snow plowed out to get back to where you need to be at the farm?
It's there. That's all I can say. It's nothing but work. I mean, between feeding 3 and 4 times a day because you got to bust ice and everything like that. But it's a lifestyle. It's a calling. I mean, it's what we do. I
often think about it. When my uncle would raise steers, they kept them in a barn. They would feed out steers in a barn, and of course, the water troughs in a barn would almost they once in a great while they would freeze up. But you'd have cows outside 365 days a year, and of course they had like a loafing. He had like a loafing barn, like he called it, that they would get into, and beef cattle would go into, and then when they were having calves, of course, then he would clean the loafing barn out, and he'd put them in there, try to watch them, but it never worked out. It was always you always had a cow that had a calf that was 3/4 of a mile from the barn, and it was the coldest day of the year. But we'd put electric heaters in them, and I never seen a cow get electrocuted, but every one of them, I guarantee you, every one of them heaters we all put it in the water, and you can probably attribute to this. It seems like they would chew them off. They would chew them off no matter what you did. So, okay, hey, I got to get off here because Nick's giving me the it's time to go signal. Hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning in this week. It's been a great week. We've got a lot of things going on. So, life is short. Live it. Love is rare. Grab it. Memories are sweet. Cherish them. Faith is being tested. Stand firm. Time is precious. Make the most of it. Trust God and take the ride. God bless each and every one of you. I'm John Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly.
The views and opinions presented by the host, guests, or callers on this program do not necessarily represent the position